Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the 2020 podcast, Canada's #1 optometry podcast. I am your host, Dr. Harbir Sayan. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to join me here to learn and to grow, guys. I'm always so grateful for all the support. As always, I'm going to ask a big request off the top. If you could, please share this. If you get some value, share this with a friend, share this with your colleagues, put it up on LinkedIn, send a text message, take a screenshot, put it on Instagram, wherever you communicate with our colleagues. Please let them know about these conversations. The goal is always to help us grow, to help the profession move forward. And if you've been listening to the podcast regularly over the last year or so, you know I've been having some conversations around binocular vision, and we'll say vision therapy, but like something broader than just seeing and just 2020, and how the brain and eye are connected, and how vision is so much broader than just what our eyes are doing. And this is another one of those conversations. I have a return guest, Dr. Tu Banh. We had an amazing, very enlightening conversation last year, which definitely, pardon the pun, opened my eyes to why there's so much more than just, 2020 vision. So just a quick reintroduction to Dr. Banh, and then we're going to jump in. And I promise you, if you listen to this conversation, you're going to leave here. Maybe you're going to leave here with more questions than answers, but I think that's a good thing, because it's going to make you go exploring and digging and trying to learn more. And the ODs, the optometrists that I've talked to, who I've kind of emerged from this as a new person trying to explore more new things. And every optometrist I talk to about this, they see how passionate I've become, and I show them V2, and I show them who else? Amrit Bilku or Cameron McCrodin and Paul Roulette, all these amazing ODs who are doing a lot of this stuff, and they go listen to them and they say, wait a minute, this is very interesting. I need to learn more. So if you leave here with questions, that's probably a good thing. Anyways, back to V2. Dr. Tu Banh graduated from Waterloo in 1996, practices in Uxbridge, Ontario, and that is a very interesting story that is documented in his book. He's also an author of a book called 12 Elephants and a Dragon. His story is incredible. I strongly encourage that you get this book and you learn about V2's journey. It's going to really inspire you to do more with your life and career as well. We're going to talk about the book a little bit. He is also the creator of the V2 method for Prism prescribing, tinting, syntonics, and we're going to get into that. And he also does a course, a Prism prescribing course with the wonderful Dr. Angela Peddle, which we'll talk a little bit about. And I'm excited. I'm going to be doing the Prism prescribing course this fall in November in Toronto. So I'm going to be reporting back to you, everybody, about that. So anyways, without further ado, V2, thanks for coming back on, man. I'm excited to have this conversation.
Well, thanks for having me, Javier. I also really appreciate what you're doing here, and that's excited as well. Let's get started.
Let's get into it. I know there's not much else. I feel like I've primed it now. We might as well just jump right in. But honestly, V2, last time we had this conversation, I watched it again, and I'm watching my face while you're talking, and I'm like, my face is all like, what? But I learned so much from that conversation. I really felt really enlightened from it. So I wanted to dive back in, because I feel like there's so much we can share with our colleagues, even if they don't, and I haven't like truly dove into binocular vision, and I don't prescribe a ton of Prism, but just understanding that there's so much more. When I see a patient who, in theory should be 20/20 or is even seeing 20/20 on the chart, but like just is not happy with how they're feeling, at least I feel like there's more I can do. I can send them to somebody who can help me do more. I feel like that at least is the least we could do, being knowledgeable about some of the other what else is out there in our field. So I'm excited to get more into it. Okay, but let me get back on track, because we're going to start by talking about your book.
Sure.
And your journey, and the incredible journey that was documented even on CBC, part of it, as you went through some of that incredible journey. So tell us a little bit about the book. Let's start with that. Even if you want to give a little bit of intro to yourself and go into that.
You did an amazing show out for me when the book came out in November.
Yeah.
Make a long story short, it took me 45 years to actually put it on paper. It is out now, and it was launched on November 24, 2024. And since then, I've lost 15 pounds.
Tell me why.
This is my old shirt.
I was gonna say, you look good.
I called it unconscious emotional trauma. So a lot of
Like,
stuff we don't know, right? So because it took me a lot to write this book, because how do you'll see when you read the book, you'll see what I'm talking about, because
yeah.
how it's structured and what title you call and all that, and all the other monkey might saying, well, what people will judge you, all that stuff. Because it's a very
Mm,
true story, right? People would tell me, why don't you use someone else's name so then you can write it? No, either I do or I don't do it,
mm-hmm,
right? And the whole mission was to tell the world that it's about love and kindness.
mm,
Amazing people. I call them the Magnificent Five. I remember we
mm.
read the book. There was like the
Yeah.
Ted and Bart Murphys, Lloyd and Mary Ball, the teachers, and Doris, who helped us. We read the book that she basically gave us $20,000 loan, interest free, to
Mm.
buy a house. My
Wow.
parents are living there right now.
Wow.
It was a whole message about teaching us how to fish, right? Mr.
Yeah.
Murphy is an accountant, and when we finally got the deal for the book, for the house, sorry, and he negotiated a house for $89,000. It's 1980 now, 1981.
Wow.
With inflation being double digit, my father was making $3.75 an hour. There's no way with it was. I have six brothers and sisters. There's no way he could afford that.
Mm-hmm.
With Doris is kindness, that $20,000 interest free loan, and she said you can pay back anytime you want. I don't expect it back even.
Wow.
You guys have a, because we were living in Jamestown after we moved on from Uxbridge. Jamestown in Toronto, I don't know if you know the demographic is like the second most highest crime infested street in Toronto.
Oh, wow.
Okay, it's got problems with Ontario housing. A lot of it's subsidized housing.
Right.
Conformity, these crimes show up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just like Anthony Robbins used to say, rats just don't show up overnight.
Hmm.
You have the garbage for the rats to show up.
Right. Right. Right.
Wait, the book has given me permission to speak my truth. It's only my truth. And the only truth you know is a direct experience.
Right.
Everything else is theory and someone else's opinion.
Right.
Okay? This 15 pounds, the truth of it. I for 4 years when we started writing the book 2020. And I tried everything. The book, the weight just would go away. But now I know the truth. Letting go of the negative emotion that was unconsciously holding my body.
Right.
So, long story short, what did Mr. Murphy teach me? When we got the house, he said, "V2, go find a lawyer." I was in high school at the time, 13, 14 years old. Go find a lawyer. Okay, go find a lawyer. I look at the yellow pages. In those days, there's no internet. Look at the yellow pages. And I found a lawyer nearby, made an appointment during my lunch hour,
Hmm.
rode my bike there, okay, and then go to the office, and the lawyer comes out. He said, Mr. Bond. And I stood up. He goes, Mr. Bond. And I stood up. You're the kid. I said, I know. But I'm excited. We bought a house. I said, we. I said, yeah, my father bought a house. We bought a house. I'm here to come and get the house. So you're going to help us get the house. So he finally invited me into his office, and he said to me, I said, Mr. Murphy, give me a whole page. I said, make sure you check for the lien against the house. Make sure everything's all clear before you get the house. So basically, he told me what to do.
Yeah.
If you don't believe me, call the lawyer. Call Mr. Murphy. So the lawyer called Mr. Murphy and put him on the phone for 10 minutes. And then next thing I know, the lawyer hung up the phone and said, this is what you're going to do.
Yeah.
On such and such a day, get your dad write a check, and you pick up the keys. The house is yours.
Hmm.
We got the house. That was 1985. My parents still living there.
That's amazing. 40 years later. 40 years later. Wow.
I came back years later after I got my degree. I asked Mr. Murphy over lunch, about the house, sir. You did all that by yourself. Why did you ask me to go through all this? He said, first of all, I didn't make you go there. I asked you nicely, and you did it.
Yeah.
The question: will you ever forget it now?
That's so true. That's that teaching a man to fish, like you said, right?
I still remember riding my bike to that office.
That's amazing.
Calling me out. That's my point. And the whole idea is about love and kindness. About how do you teach people how to fish for the new generation exactly?
Let's do V2. Let's hold that thought for just a second, if you don't mind. The love and kindness and teaching people, because that's a really, really important note, and I feel like we're at a point in time where that's a very important message. But if we can you do a few minutes version of, in a nutshell, that story, just for people who haven't heard the previous conversation or
Yeah.
understand exactly why you wrote this book? You mentioned that there was a group of people in Uxbridge who showed you incredible, um, immeasurable kindness, but and that's why your family was able to thrive in Canada. But what came before that?
So again, I was born in Vietnam. During the Vietnam War, there was the conflict between North and South, just like South Korea and North Korea right now. North
What
supported.
year was that?
It was late 60s to late mid 70s.
Okay.
So between the communism, which is the North, and then the South was supported by U.S.
Hmm.
I was born in Ho Chi Minh City, and when the war was over in 1975, communism won. The North took over the whole country.
Hmm.
At that time, even though there was peace for the people in the South, there was no peace because you would now become a new regime. You're told what to do,
Hmm.
what school to go to, what to eat, how much you eat, how much you buy. Very
Mm.
restrictive.
Right.
So my parents wanted to leave, and you can imagine the chaos in those days. The only one of the best way to leave is by boat, and you basically liquidate everything you have in the house, everything single furniture you have, turn them into pieces of gold. Because the only recognizable currency in those days were pieces of gold.
Mm.
And each person, let's say an adult, you have to pay 13, 14 pieces. Children, you pay 2 or 3 pieces, depending on who it is. The
Hmm.
biggest problem was you don't know who to trust, right? It could be scammer, it could be just taking money. A lot of people lost their life savings from that.
Mm.
We were so fortunate. So my dad knew a friend of his who knew another friend who had the two boats ready to go. And 1979, the date. So I asked my father. So yeah, you only have 2 days, 2 weeks to decide because these things they come and go. They don't
Yeah.
wait for you. Okay. So the morning of the when he had to give away all the pieces of gold to this owner, I said, "What did you do? How did you decide? Right? Because it's chaotic in those days." They said they went to see a fortune teller who's blind,
Oh my gosh.
physically blind. I said, "You kidding me, right?"
Oh my gosh.
In my head, I'm screaming out loud. You trust that blind man with your right fortune? And I said, "What did they say?" I'm just curious. What did he say? He said the blind man said, "This is your third attempt to leave this country.
Okay.
If you're gonna go, make sure you go somewhere really far.
Hmm.
You'll make it, but it's gonna be difficult because you have three dragons going with you." Okay, so first of all, the third attempt was right. My dad said, I said nothing to him. All I said was, "I want to leave this place. What do you think?" Because he tried 2 times to leave, it didn't happen.
Hmm.
The third time he said was what he predicted was true. Three dragons because each bow represents a dragon. My father was born in the year of the dragon, 1940.
Mm.
And the book was released 2024, Year of the Dragon.
Mm.
The title is 12 Elves and the Dragon. There's no coincidence here. So symbol of dragon is bringing fire to the story. Wake up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the journey started. And it took 5 days to get to Malaysia in a boat that's like 60 feet long. It's all in the book. 250 people on the lower deck. Crammed up.
250 people.
Yeah. Remember the
Holy.
video last sheet? That link will show the island where we spent 9 months.
Yeah.
We went by a cargo ship.
Yeah.
And they put us on the island where we spent 9 months. No running water, no sleep.
9 months. Unbelievable.
So Uxbridge, people from Uxbridge as a community, as a town, rescued us in 1980.
They saw that video on CBC.
Yep.
And they somehow there was some sort of operation where you could rescue some people from this island.
Yeah, so they had a group sponsorship started in the whole town. Like in those days, Uxbridge was only 3,000 people.
Oh wow.
And
Tiny.
together, it was like one ripple effect after another ripple effect, and then miracle after miracle. Here we
I
are.
love that. I mean that is an incredible story that very, very few people would know, like the feeling of that. But there's different things you could take from it. Some people would be, woe is me and my life is hard, and perhaps they end up in that subsidized housing and you know
Just
and
stuck.
they're
Yeah.
stuck.
Yeah.
But you've taken the other side of that and how powerful love and kindness is, and you're trying to spread that message. So I think that's really incredible. So I encourage everybody, please do check out the book. Once again, 12 Elephants and a Dragon. I got my copy off of Amazon. So
Yeah, it's very. And by the way, all the net proceeds go to charity.
oh yeah, okay, well, all the net proceeds go to charity. That's great.
Of the Oxford Hospital. So I've done 15 events already, book signing events.
Wow.
My grandfather taught me long ago, if you're on purpose for greater goods, the universe will always move mountains for you. And the mountains being moved. There's not a day go by people don't come to my office ask for the book. Not a day go by because the message of love and kindness is going out. And that reminded me when I do the presentation, my book event, I start with the word wow. You know what wow stands for?
What is it?
World of Wonders.
Hmm.
And it's based on the book by David Hawkins, Power versus Force. He measured the human consciousness. So light is the highest level of consciousness. You talk about be enlightened. What do? We're light workers.
Yeah.
We're going to tap into light, the power of light, which is the source. Love, kindness, all those whole scale, all the way down to the bottom, which is like guilt, shame, regret. And when I went through this book, I unconsciously released all those low frequencies. Guilt, shame, regret. Now, forgiveness, another one. And if enough forgiveness, I spent 3 hours on this stuff. There's two parts of forgiveness. First part, you must forgive yourself. And then forgive the other who did the wrong to you. Because you don't forgive yourself, you can't move on.
So how do you know what to forgive yourself for?
You'll know. When the energy shows up, you'll know.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you keep getting the pattern.
I got you.
The mirror keeps showing up. So let's say somebody did something wrong to you, and you keep blaming that thing again, and it won't go away. You gotta let it go. Because otherwise keep blaming people. Right. Anyway, I can elaborate all that, but that's all my presentations with the wow.
I love that. Okay, so you just mentioned that. Did you say David Hawking?
David Hawkins, yeah.
Hawkins,
yeah.
Not to be confused with Stephen Hawking, I guess.
This is David Hawkins. He was a physician and physiologist.
Got you. So light is
kindness. It's all the way down to the.
Okay. So we're going to talk a lot about light. I should maybe have mentioned that off the top. We talked about seeing beyond 2020 and affecting the brain-eye connection, the visual system, all of that. We're going to dive into that pretty deep in a moment, and light is going to be a really, really big part of that.
Absolutely.
But let's go down a step then. Love and kindness. What do you want to talk to me or others about, who's listening to this, about the importance of love and kindness and how it would affect their just day-to-day, whether it's with professional encounters with patients or personal encounters with friends and family?
There's a phrase of unconditional love going around. In other words, you constantly give and don't expect anything back. The irony is, the more you give, the more you get back. In a different form. It's all energy. It's all traveling, right? Circle of circulations of good and versus bad. So keep complaining, that's going to keep coming back to you. It's like a boomerang. So by giving, more sharing, more that comes back. It's almost like you create a vacuum for more stuff to come in.
So it sounds like an abundance mindset type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So instead of competing as a profession, we should be collaborating, should be cooperating, and that's a source of improvement. A word appreciation can only get better. I always tell my team, when I have office meeting, I always remind them there's two ways to have the tallest building. What are the two ways? One way is you go to Paris. Have you been to Paris?
I have not.
Eiffel Tower, famous tower.
I know the Eiffel Tower, yeah.
Tallest tower in the city, and it's still like that because they have a building code. All the other buildings has to be much lower than the Eiffel Tower.
I see. That's one way to have the tallest tower, is to not let anybody else build a taller tower.
The other way is to be growing yourself.
Right.
Well,
I was going to say the other, total kind of tangent on that, but like if you've been to Chicago, they do this tour of, they have all these big skyscrapers in Chicago, and that do the river tour. One of my favorite cities, by the way. But you see the big, or you look at the Burj Khalifa or something like that. You see some of the tallest towers in the world are often built with multiple towers, right? Kind of supporting.
Yeah.
the
supportive,
peak, right?
self-supportive.
And so that's kind of an interesting analogy that you make about that tall tower. Yeah, there's rarely ever just one long single standing tower. Of course, there are examples of that, but it's not that common.
The only place I can think of is I've been all over the world. Like Paris is one that really stands out for me. It's
Mm-hmm.
famous, but I think it takes a lot of energy to suppress the other parts.
Sure.
One bigger, right?
Yeah, and
But
I've heard from those. Some people are totally enchanted by the Eiffel Tower in Paris, and some I've heard are kind of like, it's actually not that impressive. Um, the I went to Tokyo recently. In Tokyo, they have a tower which is basically a replica of the Eiffel Tower. They just
right,
painted it orange and red and white or whatever, but it's the exact same. Anyway, off topic, off topic. V2, this is going to happen a lot with us.
yeah,
Okay, but I like that analogy of, for our profession, how do we get our profession to greater heights? Or how do we become better even within our profession? We can either do it by like pushing other people down, or we can do it as all rising together. And I think the second option is definitely the better option.
yeah. So as I said before, basically the truth will set you free,
Hmm.
but it'll piss you off first.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was the idea. That was the iconic quote from the last conversation.
Yeah. So when I
I
went
think
back,
I made that the title of the podcast.
yeah, I started the journey of VT, so-called vision therapy, in 2011, 2012. I
Yeah,
took a course called to OEP, optometric education foundation, I think, where they teach you all the theories behind what VT is about. And one of the things I came across was this thing,
yeah,
was Skeffington's four circle, based on
yeah.
his policy. You can call theory, or his idea of vision is made of four parts. And I show this to patient all the time. You heard of the term 2020, right? You get that all the time. People say 2020 is perfect vision, and some of them don't even know what 2020 means. And
Right.
I tell them, I get it, because traditional school teaches over and over because it's easy to measure.
Yeah.
Anybody can measure 20 feet, but how do you measure
So
the other stuff,
yeah,
right?
V2, give me a second. Let's hold it there. I'm just going to give a quick description for somebody who's listening. And as I often do, if there's a visual, try to go to YouTube, see if you could have a look at this image. And V2 brought this up last time as well. And this was one of those areas where I think V2, it's hard for us to, some of us who think a bit more traditional optometry, it's hard for us to kind of wrap our heads around this a little bit. But so it's four circles, kind of Venn diagram type of deal, four overlapping circles. In the middle is an eyeball. So the bottom left, anyways, for me, I guess it's probably your bottom right, is what is 2020. Top above that is grounding. Where am I? Over the right, where is it? That's your peripheral. And then the bottom right, how am I? How do I feel? So these are the four circles. What is it? Where am I? Where is it? And how do I feel? And they overlap to create vision, actual vision,
Yeah.
or
So
like
the
the whole picture of
vision
vision.
emerged from all four parts.
Right.
Okay. So when I heard about this, which we would never learn in optometry school, I mean, at least I didn't in Waterloo anyway. You can talk to all our classmates, never heard of this. And when I heard about it, is this a joke, right? It's a joke,
Right.
right? And I couldn't sleep. I go, when I think about it, it makes a lot of sense, right? If you close your eye for a second, you'd be lost.
Mm,
Or your eyes are open. If you're not stable, in other words, if you're not grounded, you're on the boat. Where I spent 5 days on the boat. It's
mm,
key. So people, especially TBI, that could, concussion patients, they come in with all these symptoms: headaches, migraines, vertigo, you name it, they're
mm.
there. Anxiety, mood swings, balance, all because the peripheral system is way overloaded.
I
And those
see.
are the symptoms. And for those who don't understand, all we do is put a band-aid on these symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
And no wonder they don't get better.
So you're saying the peripheral, the where is it, is overloaded because the grounding is
It's
off.
exactly.
Got you.
But the worst part, okay, I tell this all the patients coming in on the days I do concussion. Imagine your brain is afraid of height.
Mm,
You're now standing on 100-story high.
mm,
You know how scary that is.
mm-hmm.
On a good day, you're in the back of the room, but you know you're still very high up. On a bad day, you're on the edge.
Mm,
Why a lot of people come in the office like emergency. Oh my God, the room is spinning. I don't know why. It's because they haven't figured out how to treat this problem yet.
mm-hmm.
And the underlying cause is right there. I would say 89% is right there. And we have tools in optometry to get them back to first level in a second.
In a
And
second.
the Yolk Prism come in.
Yeah.
These Yolk Prism, micro prism, I have treated over 1,000 cases in my office.
Wow.
1,000 cases. The results are nothing but miracle, but it makes sense. Because when you come to our course in November, you'll experience it.
Yeah.
Okay. So look, I'm trying to give an overview. Okay. So this is called Van Essence, division scientist. He mapped this out in the 90s. I think 1992.
Yeah.
And this is a hierarchy processing in the monkey.
Okay. So now you flip the card over. So we had the Skeffington's 4 circles. That was that Venn diagram. Now you have this hierarchical processing in primate cerebral cortex. This is a very complex, and that's putting it lightly, very complex image of a lot of wiring. And it takes me back to my visual perception course back in optometry school, where you would just see this connecting to this thing that, if this gets triggered, then this thing. It's a very complex image. But go on, I'll let you explain it.
So when I first saw it, I go, whoa, this is crazy, right? Yeah, it's complicated, but no difference when you look at your electrical switchboard,
Yep.
all the
That's what it
wiring.
looks like.
You
Yep.
can see that. But if you look deeply, it's not complicated. It's just redundant.
I see.
Okay, so the eyeballs are here, the brain's back here.
Okay.
And any one of these pathway can get you there.
I see.
So I tell patients, you're born, you inherit this pathway, beautiful pathway from your parents. I use 401 as an example because Toronto, biggest highway is 401. You're traveling 401, you're happy. All of a sudden, you have an injury,
Mm-hmm.
an accident. Now you're in traffic jam.
Yep.
And quite often have multiple injuries. Now you're in bigger traffic jam.
Mm.
The more traffic jam you are, the more symptomatic you are. That's all the stuff showing up.
Mm.
Okay. So what do? We have tools in optometry. That's why I use microprism. We use tint. We use syntonic filter, light therapy to get
Yep.
a pathway.
I got you. So again, this complex looking image. At the bottom of it is the input. It's the eyes. At the top of it is the brain. That's where the processing is happening. Now, you're saying most people just have like one highway to send the information from the eyes to the brain, but with an image, there's damage to the highway, or it creates traffic, or whatever issue, and we have it, but we don't know how to use these other pathways, these other detour routes, as we can call them. But when you throw in Prism, when you throw in Syntonics, things like that, you're showing people these alternate routes where they can send information to the brain and process this information more quickly.
Exactly. Or hence the word neuroplasticity. Remember?
Neuroplasticity. Yeah.
We have the power using lenses through our eyes. I just listened to a beautiful webinar today by Dr. Lieberman. You should listen to him, actually.
Yeah.
He's one of the father of Syntonic, Lieberman. He said 98% of the light goes through our eyes. 98%. 2% to our skin. What the Bible says, the first line of the Bible is, let there be light.
Mhm.
Let there be light. He even talked about people who eat a lot of plants, right? Plants. Plants nothing more than frozen light energy.
What is that you said? What is like?
People like, they want to be healthy, to eat plants. Like,
Right.
he's
Because
eating
of photosynthesis. Right. I
plants
got you.
more than the frozen light energy.
Got you. I see. That's an interesting way of looking at it. Yeah.
We have basically, we know prism lenses bend light.
Yeah.
What I
Right.
discovered from my trial and error way is that they don't need a lot. That's why I call microprism. They don't need a lot. All I prescribe is 0.5. And all the brain needs a little nudge. They know how to get there themselves. We're just too busy getting in the way.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing, is a lot of times you're telling me, and one thing, V2 and I have become friends and stayed in touch quite a bit over the past year or two, and I'm very grateful for it. And once in a while, V2, you'll send me a case or a review, and it blows me away every time. Every time, I love seeing. I want to quickly read one because we're talking about Prism right now, and the effect of Prism. I'm going to quickly read this one from somebody named Helen. You'd sent me this a few months back in April. So this is a review on Google. Due to 70% vestibular nerve damage in my right ear 9 years ago, my life was turned upside down. I had vertigo-like symptoms that caused me to lose my balance, nausea, extreme fatigue, and dizziness from head movements. My license was revoked 9 years ago. I was unable to walk with my head held up without feeling nauseous and dizzy. I was walking approximately 4 miles a day. October 2024, a colleague of Dr. Bond suggested I see Dr. Bond after hearing my story. I've seen Dr. Bond and he put prism glasses on me, and immediately I could walk with my head up and felt more balanced and centered. 5 months later, I just took my driver's test and now I can drive again after 9.5 years. Prism gave back my life. Doctors had told me there was nothing that could help me. Thank you, Dr. Bond, for proving them wrong. Like, if that doesn't give you goosebumps, then that's just one of, like you said,
Many. You can look at my
hundreds, if not over 1,000.
optometry.com. There's reviews all over on my website.
Yeah. Incredible.
She
Okay, so
that ironically, and she didn't know what I do. It's always the word of mouth. So one of my colleagues, a year ahead of me, knew her, and she gotta go see V2, so she can. And literally, guess how much I prescribed for her? You will never guess how much I prescribed for her. Plano 0.5 base left. That's it.
that's crazy.
0.5. The base
In both eyes?
both eyes.
So
Nothing
that's
else.
yoked. So
No.
Plano, no
Point-
prescription. So she didn't need any correction for her vision.
No.
Just 0.5 base.
Less for more. Always less for more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why Angela and I have, Angela's the queen of VT, and I'm so grateful that she had part with me to do the course because she knows the theory. Just wrote a book too, by the way, called Vision.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to have her on and talk about that. Yep.
So this is more like the Skeleton Full Circle,
Her book is more on that. Yeah.
more evolved, it's like that. See, this is the truth, right? The truth always set you free, and the truth is always changing.
Mm.
Right? So that's why I love optometry. We have so many avenues to help people, and this is the greatest one. And for me, I would never work again unless I found this. That's why I cannot retire now. My whole
So I
mission.
think I remember you saying this, like you were kind of done with optometry.
Yeah, because we work in the dark room every day. It's pretty boring, right?
Yeah.
No sunlight. But now my room's always lit. We never turn the light off in the exam room.
Yeah.
Because that's not normal, right? You don't do. I don't refract in the dark.
On that point, I actually don't. I almost our room is dimmer than a regular room, but I almost never turn the lights off.
So that was
Yeah.
really cool. So that's how it came about. So she knows all the theory inside out. The way she explains the brain. Oh my god, it's like the ABC.
I love watching. I want to give a shout out to Dr. Angela Peddle. I haven't gotten to meet her yet.
Will.
But I watch her. Yeah, absolutely will. But gotten to watch her videos on whatever she posts on social media and stuff like that. And she just seems like a really wonderful person. So I'm really looking forward to
She's an angel.
connecting with her soon. So Angela, let's do a podcast. But then I'll see her in November, of course.
Right. So we started the course in January 2023.
Okay, so it's only been a couple of years. Oh, I didn't realize that.
But to actually do this more hands-on, because if you do a lot of lecture, people don't do it. When you don't do it, you don't get the feeling.
Yeah.
You don't want to stand, and when they don't want to stand, you can't tell patient anything.
So tell me, walk me through the course a little bit. Like,
so
why is this different?
Day and a half. So the first 4 or 5 hours, Angela goes through all the theory part because people still want to know. That's the scientific part.
Yeah, of course.
We break into groups. So Angela will teach you basically people have amblyopia, strap, or these we call best binocular prescriptions. So we pair the groups, and then I do my V2 method. So the V2 method basically it stands for vision, and that switch Greek letter symbol. You know that little check mark? Nike?
Like a Nike sign.
It's a Greek letter for swish or victory, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
What V stands for.
I see.
V2. Second, the 2 means it takes 2 to get better. So when patient come to my office, I say, I'm here to guide you. That's it. So I show them that because they love it when I show them this. As soon as they see this, they see hope.
Really? When a patient looks at that, they see hope?
Yeah. Because remember, a lot of these people come to us are already in the endpoint. They try everything. And that's the problem. I want to raise the awareness because a lot of disciplines out there, like in the concussion world, is multidisciplinary field.
Right.
The problem is we are the last into this field right now because it's so everybody think, oh, they never look at the eye as an issue. But if you think about it, I always show in my office have a big poster, bird's eye view of the brain. The only two moving organs are the eyeballs.
Mm,
Should we look after that first?
mm.
I give a lot of reasons to think why we should look at the eye first, the vision first, before everything else.
Yeah.
So all the other,
Given how much input, like, to the brain is coming from the eyes, yeah, it's kind of crazy that we haven't considered
yeah,
it more.
and yet we look at they do all kinds of crazy stuff, chiropractic, vestibular.
Yeah. Mm,
It's like that woman said, she's been to everything. They said, sure, we can't help you.
right,
But the reason it worked for her, right? Because she got new pathway. That's all it is.
right.
Got new
Just by
pathway.
well, I mean, I don't wanna, minimize it, but let's just say for the sake of the conversation, just by giving her a little bit of prism or whatever it is to redirect the light.
That's it. And I told her, make sure you know how to drive before you write a review.
Yeah,
I
just
know.
wait until that, yeah.
I saw her
Uh,
coach, right? So that's why we do the course. So it's very interactive. Then when you get like the funny thing is a lot of people that come to our course have symptoms like that.
mhm, mhm.
ODs,
ODs themselves, yeah,
any injuries, postnatal,
right.
postnatal for women, having a child, and these things comes up because they had injuries from before
Mhm,
and they never healed properly. You follow me? So
yeah.
the concussion could be two forms, could be external or internal,
Mm,
right? People have stroke, MS, uh,
mhm,
Lyme disease, a big one.
yeah.
People that spend $20,000 on medication because of Lyme disease.
Right,
You apply the V2 method, in 3 months, she's cured.
that's crazy.
No symptoms. And that's the beauty about Dr.
So
Lieber's podcast talked about this. Once the brain understands, you're done. There's no more going back. It wakes up the whole system.
so this is it all sounds amazing, and I'm excited for November, and the I think the trouble that many of us have is the kind of the tangibility of it, right? So again, I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm not going to put this on anyone else, but I don't do a lot of like VT type stuff or hardly any, right? But I'm so intrigued by this, but I still have a little bit of a hard time connecting to it because it feels kind of intangible. It's not as written in stone like so much of the other stuff that we do. So how do how does the course help with that? Like, because I would say, okay, cool, you could put some prism, but like, how does that work? What's actually happening?
Very good question. So that's why I told Angela, we got to make it practical. So
Hmm.
method, we give you step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how to do it. Exactly how to do it. And I
Got it.
truly believe 80, 90% is, see, anti-gravity just basically, they don't understand space. That's what it is. I know it sounds silly, right? Like be on the boat. I had people literally told me, I see the wall, I walk into it.
Mm,
So they
that's
miss
weird. Crazy.
what they see, what the
Yeah.
brain perceive.
Right.
And quite often they have neck pain because when they're walking, body is constantly torquing. So one of the diagnostic procedure we do is called Fukuda test. You heard that before? So when they march with their eyes closed. Okay, I showed you the video before, didn't I?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one.
Okay.
So with the prism, all of a sudden the eyes are closed. They're marching straight now. So all we did is add vision to the whole equation, and that's why a lot of the vestibular people do all the therapy. I truly believe they make it worse for them
Really.
because if you're drunk, you don't want more stimulant, right? If the last thing you want is more stimulant when you're already symptomatic.
Mm-hmm.
People literally told me they do sessions of these vestibular therapy. They go home and all they do is throw up.
Oh wow.
How's that healthy?
Yeah.
Throwing up because they're making it worse because of the follow the protocol. These classes are what we call passive. I tell people nobody knows your behavior better than you know yourself. And you wear this day in, day out, it's going to teach your brain because of what you want, and you will get better. And you'll get better.
Okay, so I think there's still, for me anyways, there's still a question of how does this work? Like, why does putting base half a base left or whatever you said?
When you come to the course, I'll show you.
Okay, so after November, I'll be able to tell everybody this is why.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. One
okay,
of the keys that have to have here, okay?
all right. So tell me, okay, the other thing I wanted, and I'll know this, I guess, after November as well. But like for those who are listening now, um, how long would it take? So let's just say I'm primary care mostly. I do, some of the other stuff, myopia management, dry eye stuff like that. But how
Mm.
long would it take me in my primary care practice to implement the stuff that we would learn in this course?
Next tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. All you
Is that
need is all the tools you need for V2 method. Well, Angela's method would be more of this. All you need is the retinal scope.
for Angela's method, all you need is RET?
Using retinal scope to decide what prescription to prescribe without using drops. Because again, it's all about the brain. That's
Uh-huh.
the title is called neural functioning prescription.
Mm,
So she'll show you how to look for that bright light using the
yeah.
red, and
Mhm.
that's how you prescribe for people.
I've heard a few friends talk about that. Again, some of the friends that I mentioned earlier, how they use RET and that type of thing, but like you looking for the light a certain way. Again, it feels like is there a more solid description that you can give me? But I guess it's one of those experience things once you know what you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. So all the tools you need is we actually people want we have a starter kit. So these flippers,
Okay, so you got a set of flippers, okay.
the blue and the FL41
So FL41 on one side, and
blue
then blue tint on the other side.
and blue. So
Uh-huh.
why the tint? Because remember, in the symptomatic, so there's two ways I tell patients this. All these symptoms you have right now is your brain says too much information. I can't handle it. That's why these
Mhm.
symptoms come out. So the last thing you want is more medication because medication causes more side effect, which is another form of brain injury because it's toxin. So the best way is calm down the brain. There's two ways: active and passive. So the Prism goggles and combination of these, what we call active calming. Okay, and we use Syntonic. These little goggles based on what they need now. We'll go through that in the whole process in the course.
So what is okay,
We show you which one to pick. So these Syntonic basically regulate the fight or flight,
okay.
or try to get the nervous system back in order. So when they have anxiety, okay, that's how do I feel? They're so overwhelmed. We'll give them more purplish blue tint, blue Syntonic filter to calm down the brain again. And all they do is here, I get them to wear 5 minutes a day for 3 weeks.
I see.
5 minutes.
So just what again for somebody who's listening, V2, if you could just hold it up again. So V2's holding up a pair of these, looks like old
Syntonic
school 3D,
goggles,
the
okay,
old school 3D glasses you'd wear at a movie. Looks like that, but the tint in the lens is
there's a name on it. Okay, this one they call the Alpha Delta.
alpha, delta. Oh, I see. So they come in various different tints.
Absolutely. So
I got
using alphabet, we name each filter what the function of each filter does.
you. Okay.
It could be
Yeah.
activating a sympathetic or activating parasympathetic, depending
So
where they are.
in clinic, you'd use the flippers to decide
What color to give them?
which one calms them down,
Yeah.
and
So
then you would give them one of these goggles, the Syntonic goggles, to take home.
yeah, that's it. That's all you need. All you need is these three, and you can practice next day.
What was the other thing you just held up? Look like goggles.
So these are what use a diagnostic tool. There's the prism lenses in here,
Ah,
and that's how you determine which prism to give them.
like a trial frame, basically. Okay.
Exactly. So these are really cool. You can turn up, you can dial them. So they have like 360 degrees. You can have
Yeah,
base
like
base
a trial
one.
frame. Got it.
Very easy to do.
Okay.
When people come, we teach the course using these to determine what prism to prescribe.
Mhm.
Systematic way to give them. Like Helen, I give her base left based on what she wants, not what I think is right. And nobody taught us these things. People come.
Okay, yes, and that's a big part of what I want to. So let's say in school nobody taught us these things, right? But you've learned. A couple of other people I know have learned. So where are you guys learning from? And the messaging sounds to be fairly consistent from like what you'll tell me, what Amrit will tell me. And recently I had somebody on named Bryce Applebaum. Do you know Bryce from the States? Um,
No.
from I think North Carolina. A lot of what Bryce talks about is similar actually, but Bryce's messaging out to the public is a little bit more edgy because he is trying to get a bit more awareness, but ultimately his messaging is very similar. And so it sounds like there's a lot of consistency.
Absolutely.
So I feel like I imagine most of you, and not to make that sound weird, but most of you who are in this space are learning from a similar source.
Yes and no, because what I came up with the technique was I told you the story, right? Woman came to my office, literally head tilted like that, 45
Yeah.
degrees.
Yeah.
And she said, "You're gonna help me today." I get people all the time, okay? Because my passion to help people. That's why I won't advertise it, but I told Angela, if I want to help 1 billion people, I can't do it all.
Right.
I'm gonna show others how to do it. Remember, cooperation and collaboration. There's nothing to hide, no secret. So that's why I have 1,000 cases of successful with story. Mind you, you're not gonna cure every single concussion patient. Some of them are pretty complicated.
Right.
Others are involved. I would say with the V2 method, I can probably say that 80 to 85% just using this method.
That's huge.
And for me, it's nothing but gratitude and loving kindness. So she came to my office like this. She goes, "You're gonna help me today." I said, "Help you with what?" Like, I'm speaking out loud here. She said, "I have all these symptoms, headaches, migraines, vertigo. You name it, all the concussion syndromes are there." And I'm looking at her head. "Why are you like this?" She goes, "If I go like this, I see too." How long has it been? 15 years ago. 15 years.
Crazy.
So what happened was she was younger, I guess 15 years ago, as a cheerleader during a cheerleading contest. She was at the tip of the human pyramid. She fell comatose for 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And when she woke up, she kept seeing too. Guess what? Surgery.
They did like to like strabismus.
Muscle EOM, right? They thought the muscle
Yeah.
issue. 6 months later, double vision again. No more. And then a year later, more double vision. So she said no more. Because it was painful. So she lived like this for 15 years to correct her double vision. But all the symptoms still there. And I'm going to tell you that sounds crazy because when you have passion to help people, the universe will show you. I often said the 2 canoes in a helicopter story, the parable with the priest. You heard about that?
What? Say it again. The 2 what?
With the 2 canoes in a helicopter.
2 canoes. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, share that. Yep.
So these are the canoes in a helicopter. She was a helicopter, basically showing me how to figure this out. So in order
share that story, V2, if you don't mind.
The story, yeah. So
the parable, yeah.
I think it was somewhere down south. There was torrential rain coming, floods coming, and they got to leave. But this priest was adamant. God's going to save me. I'm not leaving this town. So of course the water kept rising. The first canoe came. "Father, let's go. You're going to drown." "No, go. God's going to save me." The water kept coming out. Second canoe came. "No, I'm good. You go." Now to the top of the house and the roof, and the helicopter came, and he said, "No, God's going to save me." Sure enough, he drowned. Now I'm up in heavens, talking to St. Peter's, and then he said, "You guys supposed to save me. What happened?" St. Peter said, "You idiot. We sent you 2 canoes in a helicopter. Where were you?" My point is, we got to be very present and watch for the signs. A lot of people, like I said, I know the truth because I lived it. The book, okay, I lived it. So the only direct experience is have known the truth. So when she came, I go, suddenly there's a whisper saying, use these goggles. I know something about these goggles. I don't know how to figure it out because nobody really teach you how to do it. There's different methods, but it's not consistent. So I say, let's go outside for a walk, because what it means is her vision's not stable, her motion's not stable. There's something's off. And we teach a technique how to figure that out in the course. And a lot of my concussion patients I see basically from primary care, just out of conversation. I said, if you want to get help and get better, we'll come a different date. We'll spend more time figuring it out. And I do that all the time now. And many people out there, like from primary care office, sitting on your front of your chair, having these issues, they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah. I feel like that's the case with a lot of specialty care. Is when you get into it, you start to realize there's just so many people just walking into your sitting on your chair day to day that could use this service, this help.
Absolutely.
But because we're not aware of it ourselves, so conscious of it, we don't see the signs and we don't recognize it.
Right. So I had her walking outside. I kept turning the lenses. Okay.
Yep.
By the 4th turn, her head went up straight. I said, her name's Jennifer. "Jennifer, what happened to your head?" She goes, "I feel good." I said, "Do it again." I had walking back 3 times. Her head still straight. She goes, "I want 2 of these."
Give me 2.
They're clear and a pair of sunglasses. So I said, make sure you come back, because I always see my patient. We'll go through this in the course. I see them 3 to 4 weeks after, because research show it takes 3 weeks to build new habits.
Mm-hmm.
They come back, I want to go through the whole conversation. How are you doing? So I always compare the symptom they had before and now. Are they making it? Are they making progress?
Mm-hmm.
I would say 80% of them, literally, the symptoms gone by the 4th week.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the headaches. The nagging headaches are gone in 4 weeks, and that's nothing like that than these classes.
Right.
So later on, I asked you, Jennifer, 15 years ago, did you really see two? She goes, no, I really saw what I saw was confusion.
And then they did a strab surgery and made her see too.
They make understood her symptoms. That's why in the course we teach it. When
Oh
people
my
talk
gosh.
about double vision, I feel very comfortable with treating with double vision now because years ago I run away from that because I had no understand how it works. We're too busy looking at the eye to look at the brain. Always the brain. So for
Mm-hmm.
her, I said, so when I see people come in and they see two, I said, I put up the big E. I said, is it these two like this, or like this, or is it this? That was what she saw, confusion,
Mm.
the blur. That is two. I asked them to show me now. Everybody comes in with double vision, so I get a better, clear understanding what they're going through. Can you imagine if she had these 15 years ago? She would not have to walk like this.
Yeah.
We go through 2 traumatic surgeries. We're looking at the wrong thing, Javier.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what we don't know, right? That's why I'm very passionate about this. For me, it's like not about money. It's about giving the message out there, and we should collaborate and cooperate. So that's why I told Angela, we're gonna do it right. We're gonna do it so they experience it. It has to be experiential. Because we do it online, it doesn't do justice.
Yeah. I think that's amazing that you guys are doing it that way, actually. It certainly will set your course apart immediately from many others.
It,
And the feedback that I've seen, I mean, that I've heard from others is incredible.
the participants are the one that usually have symptoms. They didn't know. They didn't know. And that's
Yeah, I'm almost like a little nervous to come now because I feel like I'm gonna uncover something, almost
yeah.
like I'm gonna go to therapy and find out something.
Find the truth, right? It's find the truth.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is
yeah.
easy to correct. So easy to correct. That's why I love
Okay,
it.
so good. Okay, tell us when the course is happening. I know I have it here somewhere. I apologize.
Actually, this one's in Toronto in I think November 8th and 9th.
Okay,
In
and I'm gonna put a link in the bottom of the podcast on YouTube as well. I have it here. Okay, November 8th and 9th.
at Angela.
Um, da, 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 at Elite Vision Therapy Center. That's Dr. Angela Peddle's office
Correct.
in Toronto.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's when
November 8th, it's a kind of a half day, 2 to 6 p.m. And November 9th, which is a Sunday, it's a 9 to 4 p.m.
yeah.
So I'll put a link, and then so anybody who's interested in signing up or at least learning more, you can contact either V2 or Angela.
And this is really for people like especially primary care OD. Doesn't cost much to start, and
It's actually not that yeah, given the cost of a lot of other courses and programs, it's actually not it's fairly inexpensive, I would say, relative to others. Yeah.
but the life people are going to change is unbelievable. It's just like beyond the world.
Yeah.
And we have the power as optometrists to do that. And we make it so simple, so practical, you get the result right away. There's nothing like it.
Yeah. Sounds too good to be true.
That's right. There are a lot of things on the planet is too good to be true. It is true. When I told you the last episode, I think I truly now believe less than 0.5% of this planet or this universe is visible to the human eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're too busy looking at the visible stuff.
Yeah.
All that invisible stuff that's keeping us going. Look at our planet, the Earth spinning how many miles an hour on its axis. We're sitting still. That's pure energy there. Right? This phone is going to the core of the Earth. We're too busy looking at the phone. No energy. But the biggest network I discovered is that it's not the internet. You know what it is?
What is it?
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
What happens when we die? Go back to the plant.
Yeah.
You look at the roots. All the roots and the trees are all mushrooms there. The biggest network on the planet is mushrooms right now.
Fungus.
They're everywhere. Right?
Have you seen the show The Last of Us? You're starting to remind me of that a little bit now.
There's so much we have the potential to help people. And this is a branch. And like I said, I still look forward to it. People want to come, they come.
Yeah.
It's just we have the power to help people.
Definitely right. Well, I mean, again, I haven't taken the course yet. By the time this episode is published, in whatever late summer, early fall, I will not have taken the course yet, but I am planning to. I'm going to be in Toronto during those dates already, so
Mhm.
signed up. I'm coming. So I think late in the year or early next year, after I've had a chance to implement some of this stuff in the practice, I think we come back on and record and talk a little bit about my experience there.
Yeah,
Near the beginning of the conversation, you mentioned David Hawkins
yeah. Hawkins,
and the top of his hierarchy of
right. Be
his
enlightened. Is enlightened.
what is that hierarchy? What is that called? The whole
So he measured the consciousness, the human consciousness,
human
energy,
consciousness. And the
energy,
top of that is light.
light. Yeah, light.
So and we are
Human
meant to be. I
energy.
remember in optometry school, one of our profs said we are experts on light, but I don't think they really were explaining light the way that you're talking about light.
Yeah, I think what he really meant is we have the ability, the capability to help people using light to heal themselves. And lens is one of the ways. Filters the other way. These filter.
Yeah, the
I had
symptomics filter.
with women, literally, one woman was so debilitating from vertigo, like the room spinning in a hospital. They gave her IV to reduce the symptom. She
Wow.
came in the office, so we have a technique to see which filter gives her the best result.
Yeah.
And I gave her the filter. I said, wear this 5 minutes a day. Come back in 3 weeks. After 2 weeks, the symptoms gone. It never came back again.
Just with the color with the filter.
Again, finding a new pathway. There's nothing like it. Neuroplasticity.
Now that you know, funny enough, V2, when you showed me that last time that pathway thing, that was one of those points where I was like my face was a little contorted. Like I don't think I follow because that was never one of my favorite parts of optometry was the visual perception stuff. But today, for some reason, maybe because I'm hearing it for the second, third time now, seems to make more sense, right? When you put a certain filter lens or a certain prism in a certain direction, all of a sudden you're showing the brain a new pathway, a new detour, an alternative route, and that's why it can be that quick and that impactful.
And
Because
they figure
otherwise, to me, I'm
out.
like, doesn't it take so long for the brain to figure this out and develop a new pathway and all that kind of stuff?
Another analogy I use is like think of a brain having 10 equal rooms, fully functional rooms.
Say that
All
again.
so another analogy I use is that we have 10 rooms. We were given 10 rooms as soon as we were
10
born.
rooms. Okay.
Fully functional.
Uh-huh.
From birth to the injury you had, you might use 2 or 3 rooms.
I see.
As soon as you have an injury now, the structures in the rooms have become malfunction.
Mm.
You might have a missing key. There's a hole in the wall. So it's not functional, but you're still there. You don't know how to get out. When we give you these prism glasses or the filter, based on what you tell me, you find your own key. Now you're in a functional room, you're happy. The question now is, are you comfortable there? That's why we have to go regularly to make sure they're doing the right thing. Some people get the peaks and valleys. Some days are good, some days are bad. Because what happens, they keep looking for answers. I said, let the brain heal. It takes time. Just let it heal. That's why we have to guide them.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times they come back for follow-up when I go through that in the course. Because my philosophy of prescribing is this. You ready? Fire, aim, and fine-tune. Not
Fire first.
fire first. That's why, like you said, now I truly understand how this works. Because
Uh-huh.
I've so many cases now.
Yeah.
Because we're too busy trying to figure it out. We get in the way,
Okay.
right?
Well,
Second, love it out. Love it all out.
let's on the topic of light, there's one other thing I wanted to talk about, something else that you're really excited about. So as we get closer to kind of wrapping up here, I want to make sure we touch on that quickly. And I just wrote a note, the dome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tell me about the dome.
Always in that path to get better or enlightenment or helping people. And what I also find, Javier, is that you will know when you start helping these people, you're really helping yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
To a street. There's always a layer inside of us that need to be healed. And the more I help people heal, that's why the book has been such a healing thing for a lot of people. Okay. So on my journey of enlightenment or find out more, I came across this thing called the dome. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it basically is like the artificial sunlight. So you have full spectrum of light therapy. You see the green color?
Yeah.
That's one of the colors. So this
Yep.
little knob here, you control the color that you want
Yep.
to see. It's a 10-minute treatment.
So just for again context for people who are listening, it looks like a giant helmet almost, big round globe type shape. And it's larger than your head. It's something that would hover just above your head or your face. You
Yep.
kind of put your face in it pretty much.
Like this is an example here. This
Yeah.
woman like a person is
And then you have a knob that you're holding that changes the color, the wavelength of the light. Okay. So what's the benefit of this?
for me, I think I've done it I'm the first one have in Canada actually. It's
Are
from
you?
Sweden. But yeah,
Okay.
the guy who invented this about 40 years ago, he said he did it because in Sweden, especially winter, like here, there's hardly any sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of sad, right? So he developed as an engineer, therapist, whatever. He came up with this technique, came up with this model called this light called dome therapy. So it's like looking at the sky, an artificial sky. So you control the light. So that's what he decided to he came up with this thing. And one of the courses I took about syntonic therapy is much, you can go a lot of more deeper than this. So Denise Hatton does a lot of syntonic therapy in UK, and she's the one who told me about the dome. She said she had it for 20 years. I said, what
Wow.
does it do? She said, really, it basically is a booster for the brain. It makes you much more acute of learning everything that you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it's not really a therapy, but it's almost like a like you know when people go for when they have any kind of professional games, especially hockey or any kind of sports game,
Yeah,
like a warm up. It primes the brain to do things you want to do.
I see.
It's only 10 minutes. So the biggest learning I have from this thing is like I get really uh, aware what I do. I get motivated. I don't waste time on anything else. I get much more work done.
Hmm.
And as you know, we play a lot of golf. I find my golf game have increased at 1,000%, especially putting.
Really?
Yeah, the
Just
famous
from doing this light thing, this
golf,
dome.
drive for the show and putt for the dough. Every time I do one of these session, I would sink like 63 footer in one putt.
Oh my God. What?
No,
That's crazy.
I only think about the hole. I don't think about anything else. It makes you focus on what you want. Period. So
Interesting. So you've been using it on yourself and you're finding, you said, less procrastination, more focus,
get
and your
more
golf game's gone up. I feel like just the golf game is enough for people to want to use this thing for sure.
This is huge. And that's why he calls it a happy machine. He's actually coming to Canada next weekend. We're gonna host a little workshop and what this machine can really do to help people. So I'm excited to hear what he has to say. So this is another way of again using the light, right? Light, different form of light. And I think like they were saying in the video, I will send you the link. So people like do a lot of massages, therapies, use it as like a warm up
Mm-hmm.
and open up.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Because the
I
problem is we
think there's,
think about what we don't want. Golf is a perfect example. We think about the hazard, you think about the water, and then know what you do. You keep focused on that. You mess up your shots all the time,
mm,
right? So that's the benefit of everything. And then a lot of my team members have done it. One of them after the third session, she goes, "I've suddenly feel happier." Okay, because it might take a 2 or 3 sessions before you feel any effect. Everybody's
yeah, yeah.
different. So for me, it's another way of it's like a supplement to other things we do. So it with like I have 2 people coming today. We're gonna measure. So it's really syntonic when we measure the color fields, not a visual field, but color fields.
Uh-huh.
So with the field, so like optimal fields, then they're good. If the fields are collapsed, then you can use the combination of the dome and syntonic filter to open up the color fields.
Hmm.
If the color fields open up, the best thing about these things is that it stimulates the vascular system.
I see.
So your circulation improve, the cells will wake up.
That's what I wanted to ask you is like, what is the actual effect of the light?
Yeah. So
So
you
that's,
hear the red therapy all over the world. Right?
yeah. Red light is a big thing. Yeah.
It stimulates the mitochondria, which is
Right.
the energy field, right?
Yep.
But a lot of people are not ready for that. They might actually run from it because they're so symptomatic. You might have to give them blue.
I see.
That's why this full spectrum is really cool, right?
So that machine, the dome, does it just kind of go through the full spectrum of light, or do you change it yourself?
And you control yourself.
You just choose whatever color you feel like. How do you know which one's the right one?
You know when you don't feel good about it.
Huh.
You look at the light, you keep turning.
It's
That's like
just totally subjective and on how you feel.
yeah. So the kids who have ADHD, kids who have anxiety, I'm gonna try it on them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You don't know what you don't know, right? It's 10
Sure.
minutes. That's it.
Is there any risk of doing any harm by having the wrong color, wrong wavelength?
Not that I can think of because it's just bright light and it's not intense. Actually, it's really you feel really calm afterwards.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
that's my latest thing. I just got it back in May because it took a long time to get it here from Sweden, right? So I'm going to put into play today. Actually, today my first. No, actually, it started last week. Put it on patients.
Yeah.
So people any chronic symptoms and they're open to it. We measure the field first. If they have a collapsed field, then we start the therapy.
Mhm.
If the field's open, then there's not much to do. But a lot of people come in because they already have symptoms,
Yeah, right.
like chronic migraines, vertigos, and all that.
Yeah.
Beyond the V2 method. Uh, the latest one I had one was after the Prism glasses and the Syntonic. You're not going to believe this. She told me the biggest change was 27 years of hot flashes gone. 27.
Wow.
Why? She's 67 years old. When she was little, she used to ride horses. And horseback riders tend to fall many times.
Yeah.
And they've forgotten about it. And these symptoms keep creeping up.
Mhm.
Headaches, migraines, vertigo, all that. So she kept taking medication thinking that nobody knows what's going on. You do the
Yeah.
scan, wrong the brain. But one of the things she had was the hot flashes. She dealt with for 29 years.
I imagine most like women would attribute that to perimenopause, menopause, that type of deal.
But it's the baggage, right? From
Uh-huh.
all the injuries in the past. And now she found a new pathway. The symptoms slowly disappear. You got to find the root cause.
Yeah, yeah.
You cannot put Band-Aid on Band-Aid. And that's what we've been doing all this time.
Mhm.
See, I'm not against medicine. I'm not against any traditional med therapy, but I'm more interested in what's causing the problem. You figure what's causing the problem, you get rid of it,
Yeah. Interesting.
but yet you regenerate. That's the beauty of it, right? When the pathway gets stronger and stronger, there's nothing to it. Like the Helen, how do you spend 9.5 years? Couldn't drive. She said when she walks, if she looks up, the room's spinning.
Mhm.
Put a half base up, she's walking straight line. And then her husband's like, "What just happened?" I said,
Yeah. What is this voodoo magic? Yeah.
"Instantaneous result."
That's amazing. Amazing. All right, V2. That's awesome, man. I think there's so much like the first conversation. There's a lot in here that's gonna, enlighten hopefully those who are listening, but also probably, like you said, the truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off. And I'm sure there's stuff in here that's gonna make people a little kind of wonder, like, what is this stuff,
Of
right?
course, I went through it, right? I could have stopped and saying, "I'm not going there anymore." But then, like I tell people, it's like you lift up the whole pile of garbage. You took the cover off now. The dust coming out.
Yeah.
Do you run or do you deal with it until the dust is gone?
Yeah, yeah. So, well, I'm excited to learn more. I am. I am. Finally, after all this time of kind of talking to yourself and a few other friends, I think it's about time that I dive in a little bit. So, in a few months, I'll be there.
Much.
Um, for just as a reminder, please make sure you check out V2's book, 12 Elephants and a Dragon. The story is incredible. It's impactful. I think it's going to really inspire you. V2,
And the
any other
proceeds,
final words?
yeah, all the proceeds go to charity.
And all the proceeds go to net. You say, yeah, proceeds go to charity. So that's important too. Um, Anything else you want to share before we wrap up?
Be present, be grateful, and love and kindness.
Love and kindness. Love that, man. Thanks, V2. Thank you for everything you're doing and for sharing your story and for helping us kind of wake up a little bit to some of the other possibilities,
Feel free to reach out.
ways that we can help our patients.
Yeah, feel free to reach out. I'm always available for any
Yeah. Oh,
questions.
yeah. Let's share just quickly verbally here. Share email or whatever, however people can reach out to you, and I'll put it in the caption too.
You can get my website. I think it's uxbridgeoptometry.com.
Uxbridgeoptometry.com.
And
So
the
that's
number
UXBRIDGE, Uxbridge.
optometry.com.
Yeah, perfect.com. Got it. So reach out to V2, whether you're an OD who wants to learn more, or if by chance there's a patient listening, or you're an OD and a patient,
Yeah.
reach out to V2.
You don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah, totally. Thanks, V2. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you in a few months, and I look forward to sharing this with everybody. And thank you to everybody who is listening and watching to the 2020 podcast, Canada's #1 optometry podcast. I'll see you guys in the next episode.